Hi friends, I'm Ellen Gormley and welcome back to my channel. Sometimes when crochet is not as valuable and relaxing as I would like it to be, it's still valuable, but I might have to rip it apart and that's a little less relaxing. Well, I made this swatch a few weeks ago and I forget how I did it and I didn't write it down. So I decided that I would show you one of my methods for figuring it out. Taking a lot of photographs, taking a video, and unraveling it. So I've already photographed it the way it was with nice close-ups, but I am going to unravel it and then I will revert it back so that it recrochets itself. And I will pause between rows so that I can get a good look at what happened. So here we go. And this is where it looks like we have one complete repeat here, and then we're kind of repeating this gray, but it'll be in a new spot. So it's like one complete repeat, but this row here is going to be put into these stitches and not into a row of single crochet. So that's slightly different, but I think we have one complete repeat here. So I'm going to stop and take a couple good photos. Ripping back yarn is also a good way to measure. If I had measured how big my swatch was before I started ripping out, then I could measure how much yarn I have in my pile over here and do calculations to figure out if I had a 6-inch square swatch, how much yardage of each color do I need, and then extrapolate that if my scarf, cowl, sweater, whatever, is X number of inches square, how many 6-inch squares would fit into that item, I could do a rough estimate of how much yarn I need. So all is not lost. There we go. And I'll count my foundation row and we'll learn it together. men I hush get on that word gives that sun must get to know on. Yeah. Was. Her luck, she was a wish, yes, the share that we were roll fish got seeing ye were as the we were wish, yeah, even some Lewis. Listening, yeah, sure, well, but there's either we sees. Sure, when you see it were as a fighter, if you are locked, she was a wish, so suffer for a wish, there's a hidden, there's a house of us. And over, I think I'll slip. Yeah, right, Nana looks a wee snicker with the ass, but the girl looks like it was up. Oh, yeah, that, the looking again, it, girl, but I know. Said the girl, well, sure, when you see it, so we're, I said, yeah, was a wish, or where these thing on. Hurry, my head a wee sit so, being it. I've just scared so amazing it was. Why, you were was. I had a little look at it, and the out of the sewer, new people off, well, out in it. Plus, this is sure we rid of this crap, it over. Oh, well, out in it. Well, if I'm not with no man up. Special sound though, so well with it, fire to feed a rot or of us, and Elvira not in it. Why, you did when you get. Fire to fit all when you get. Ma. I think you're the first time I'm going to wish you about it. Then I said that was my dinner. Oh, down it, you're fan. Well, I guess you reach the stop, Sydney Mountain. It's got there's a little wasn't it, girl, but if I ever find out, met up, all the others, he's the other rousing his collar, no, me has it, and say, sure, knows me out. Honestly, I'm a call when I'm rolling like mountain there for you. Let's start stitching. I'm going to jump up to a J size hook because my swatch is curling a little bit, and maybe if I gave it a bigger hook it would be less tension. All the stitches, the front post stitches, all the weight of the fabric is on the front, and that is why it is curling even though it is a traditional crochet. And also I want to flip the colors for you. Since you've seen it with the light and then the dark, I'm going to do dark and then the light, and I'm going to use this dark Tide Pool Brava green color and this white Brava color to simulate like a black and white, because I think it would look really amazing in a black and white pattern. So let's get a slip knot on our hook and our J size hook, and I'm going to chain 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I hope you're having a valuable and relaxing day, because you know that I think that yarn and crochet is relaxing and valuable use of our time. And I already said that at the beginning of the video, but I filmed it the other day, so it feels like a new day. It feels like a new video instead of just the second half of this video of the, I think I'm calling it a whale tail mosaic now, because this little thing here reminds me of the fluke of a whale. So that's just kind of what it reminded me of as I was unstitching it, restitching it, writing it down, and re-swatching it. So almost here. So we're single crocheting all the way across in the back ridge, back loop, back bar of the beginning chain. I think this would make an amazing cowl. I think this would be a really amazing cowl. It would also make an adorable sweater. Very intricate. Okay, so we're just single crocheting in each stitch all the way across, and we will change color at the end of the row. So we're basically working 3 rows of single crochet first. single crochet in the first color, the A color. Now in our swatch, the A color was this pale dove gray, but I'm switching up the contrast so that you can see how changing light and dark really makes a big difference in how a swatch looks, and we will get to see it together because all my swatches so far have been the other way around. So let's go ahead and yarn over that last stitch with the new color, the white, chain 1 and turn, single crochet in each stitch across. I will be quiet for a moment so we can speed it up. At the end of the row, we are going to chain 1 and turn, single crochet all the way back, I know some of you have been wondering where Theo has been lately. He is right here above the frame, and I'm sure he will be poking into the frame any moment. So, okay, so we're doing another row of white. So 1 row of green and then 2 rows of white. We're going to change back. We get to do 2 rows of each color, which makes it very convenient to change color and just bring up the yarn along the side. You know how much I love that. So changing back to green in the final stitch with a yarn over and pull through the stitch. All right, and now we get to begin the complicated but fun stuff. So single crochet in the first stitch, and now we are going to come down here. We're going to skip the stitch that was right below, skipping, let's spread it out a little bit, skipping 1, 2, and around the 3rd stitch. Let's see, let's skip 1, 2, 3. Around this stitch here between my thumbs, we are going to long double crochet. It's kind of around the post of that single crochet. Give it plenty of looseness. We are going to skip the stitch behind and single crochet in the next one. Now we are going to insert our hook again in that same spot. Skip the stitch behind and single crochet in the next one. And dropped it. And then one more time, a long stitch in that same stitch, skipping the one behind and single crocheting in the next. Okay? Okay. And we're going to do this routine, this pattern, all the way across. So now, I take that back. We need to long double crochet next. So not under the stitch we just made, but one over, because the stitch is going to stand right here. We're going to go around the post of the next stitch. So we're actually skipping 1, 2, 3 stitches, okay? Then single crochet. There's no chains in this pattern except a turn. So now we are skipping 1, 2, 3, and around this next one, we will go ahead and work our little fan thing again, the little whale tail, the fluke, as it were. Okay, here we go. Now, this is the only time we will be doing this grouping of stitches in single crochets. So from now on, in subsequent rows, we will be working around the middle post of the tail or of the grouping. So right now I'm sort of, let's see, skip 1, 2, 3, and over the next one we're going to do a double post crochet around it, but we're really not doing too many front post double crochets because it gets a little tricky, but I don't really want too much bulk here where all of them like cross in the same place. So we are going to actually work in the top 2 loops of the stitch when we get a chance to do this again. You'll see. Stick with me. So now we are skipping 1, 2, 3, and around this next one in between my thumbs is where we are doing the next grouping, the next whale tail, the next little fan. And you can't see Theo, but he has perched himself right there. Hi, Theo. And back to the table. So he is just hanging out on the edge of the table. And now that I have his attention, I wonder if he's going to try and reach in and grab my yarn. We will have to wait and see. I'm sorry, I got off camera there. Okay, so then we are skipping the last stitch, and because this one represents it, and single crochet here. Okay, so when we had the front post stitches, we skipped the stitch behind and then single crocheted every other stitch. So that's the back side. Okay, so now we are going to continue with this color. We're not changing color until we get back over to where the white has been hanging out, waiting. Right now we are single crocheting 1 for each stitch, 1 for 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way across. Then we will change color to white, and I will show you the next row. So in case you've gotten this far in the video, you might have to watch the video again on Saturday because I don't anticipate getting another video out, unfortunately, on Saturday. We have had a death in the family, so my stepfather Dave has passed away, and so the funeral is going to be in a couple of days, and I don't anticipate being able to get another video done between now and then. So you might just have to watch this video again, but luckily for you, it's a nice long video. So I hope you get what you need out of it. Okay, I'm going to change colors over to white. It's probably why Theo is hanging out with me. He's been hanging by my side a lot the last few days. Okay, look how gorgeous that is. And look how different it is compared to the reverse, which the lighter color being the whale tail fan. Okay, now we're doing single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and we are going to place a double crochet in here. So in between, so we've got this little fan of 3, 1, 2, 3 going. We're putting it right here in between into the white behind. That's where it's going. So I'm going to get it right in there. Pull it from the back to the front. There you go. And then don't use the stitch right behind it, but single crochet in the next one right here. So this entire row, we're doing every other stitch. Front post double crochet, single crochet. Front post double crochet. If we have to split these fan pieces out a little bit so that we can find it, we're digging deep into there to grab the white with a front post double crochet. Give myself a little more slack. Don't use the stitch where the front post double crochet was, but instead the next stitch we are using a single crochet. So we're just front post double crocheting all the way across. So every other stitch. So we're placing one here. Okay, do you see it? Don't use the one behind it, but instead single crochet in the next one. Place another one over here. Okay, so we're working the white in the white, the green in the green. Okay, here we go. We need to split up this fan a little bit and find the white behind it and dig in there and get what we can get. It's not critical that you get it exactly. It's just critical that you get it in that space and that you get it securely. So I'm just going to dig in there. I might have to move one of those pieces aside. Okay, grab something and hold on. All right, doing this all the way across. So we're actually reaching down 2 rows. We're not working in the row immediately below. We're not working into the green here. We're working 2 rows, 1, 2, 2 rows down. Okay. If you need to count at the end of each row, you should have 23 stitches if you are stitching along in this pattern. If you feel like counting along, you absolutely can if you're making the same swatch at home. And don't use the one we just used, but instead single crochet in the next one, and we will single crochet in the last one. And we don't change color yet, remember, because we're doing 2 rows of each color before we change over. So here is where we are. So pretty. Very snow-like. Snow-like on evergreens. Isn't it amazing how color changes the way you perceive a stitch? Before, I felt like it looked like whale tails, and now I'm seeing Christmas, winter scenes, snow on evergreens. I'd like to give a shout out to my channel members. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to support my channel and keep good crochet happening as much as possible, you can always become a channel member for as little as $1.99 a month. And you can check that out on the home page of my channel. Okay, so now we get to change color because we're on the final stitch, the 2nd row. So I'm going to single crochet, but pull over or yarn over with the green. So I'm just going to pull up the green that I had abandoned and let drop, and I'm in the meantime letting the white drop and pretending it no longer exists. I might tension it just a little bit, but I will chain 1 and turn. And it's time for another whale tail evergreen row. So single crochet in the first one. And now this is how it's different than where it was the first time. The first time we did like post stitches around a single crochet in the first row. This time we are going to long double crochet, and I don't really want to put it around the post like a front post double crochet because it gets super bulky. So instead I'm targeting the top of the stitch right there where there is already a stitch. That's where I'm targeting. So I'm going to yarn over, insert the hook into that same stitch where the feet are of that single crochet. Okay, so it's give you a better understanding of where we're going. And we're doing a long double crochet, so allow this first part to be as long as it needs to be and finish the stitch. Don't use the single crochet that's immediately behind the stitch, but instead single crochet in the next one. So leave 1 abandoned there and single crochet in the next one. Now we're going to use that same spot 2 more times. So we're going to single crochet there, or I'm sorry, long double crochet there. Leave the one immediately behind the stitch unworked and single crochet in the next one. And then for the 3rd usage of the same stitch, we're going to yarn over and get the hook into that same spot. Okay, don't use the stitch, but single crochet in the next one. And then we are ready to do a front post double crochet along these. These ones that are straight down, I do like them to be front post double crochets. Just give them a nice long tug here so that there's not as much tension on them to help keep the fabric from curling. Also going up a hook size hopefully will help some with that. Again, now it's time to make another whale tail or chicken foot. It looked like a chicken foot and it looks like a whale tail or an evergreen with snow on it. But we're targeting right here, this middle one, the top 2 loops where the white is standing. So in there. Okay, see it? It's not rocket science. It's okay to approximate it. Then we're going to single crochet in the next one after the skipped one. Get the hook back into that same spot. Use the feet of the previous one to guide you. Don't double crochet or anything in that one that's directly behind, but single crochet in the next. And long double crochet in the same spot where the last 2 were. Okay, are you following along? Following along like little tridents. See, now I'm seeing something different. All right, long double crochet, front post double crochet around that other one. Okay, don't use one, single crochet in the next. So here we go again. One more opportunity to do this long double crochet into that spot where the feet of the next color already are. Let's finish this row and then see where we are. And I think we are right on target because there will be 1 single crochet left when we are done. So out behind this long stitch is this stitch. So we're not using it, but we will single crochet in the last one. So this is where we are now. All right, gorgeous. Oh, tell me what you think of this pattern. What would you do with this pattern? What would you make out of this pattern? So next we would, can you guess, chain 1 and turn and single crochet in each stitch across. Then on the final stitch, we would change over to the white and do the same row that we had already done, the white row. I hope this helps to demystify what looks like a really complicated mosaic pattern, but makes it into something that you can totally do. So I hope to see you on the next video, probably not Saturday, but definitely next Wednesday. So that's all for today, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you. Say goodbye, Theo.